It shall be steadfast and sure. It must be fastened to the rock. It shall be grounded firm and deep in the Savior's love. Oh, the anchor holds, hold. The anchor holds. Oh, the anchor holds, hold. The anchor holds. Oh, the anchor holds, hold.
We are asking again that you come forward with the chairs. In a little while, we'll move back this truck in the back a little bit so we get some more space. But we are asking the driver of the white car. Kevin, you see the number plate there? The white car. Hyacinth, that is your car?
Change the environment, You do it once and now get for do it again. Years no lies and only pretend. We suffer too long, now go back there again. So now me make up my mind for try Folly and friend. Oh Lord, that man full of vision and lens. Tobago.
All right. TPP people. Good night, good night. We have lots of room up front. Come up, come up, come up. Come in. Huh? Yeah. Thank you, thank you. Well, this meeting, big boy, look at people. What is this? Hey, Castara, so much people buy? All right. We are about to start. Wherever you are, just stand as the DJ plays the national anthem of Trinidad and Tobago. We are not early, and we have lots of things to say. Thank you, thank you. Please remain standing as we invite Mr. Steve Duncan to lift us in prayer. Mr. Steve Duncan. Duncan, I see it.
Good night, everyone. First, welcome home to Castara. Hope you all have a good evening. First, I would like us to offer a word from the good book, Psalms 43. Judge me, O God, and plead my cause against any ungodly nation. O deliver me from the deceitful and unjust man. For thou art the God of my strength. Why dost thou cast me off? Why go I mourning because of the oppressors of the enemy? O send out thy light and thy truth. Let them lead me. Let them bring me unto thy holy hill and to thy tabernacles. Then will I go unto the altar of God, unto God my exceeding joy, yea, upon the harp will I praise thee, O God my God. Why art thou cast down, O my soul? And why art thou disquieted within me? Hope in God, for I shall yet praise him, who is the health of my continuance and my God. Gracious God, as we gather here tonight under the skies, we pray, God, that you would open the skies and come down to us. Come and deliver us from all who are lurking in dark places upon us. We pray, oh God, for the speakers of this night. We pray, God, for those two candidates that offer themselves up for the Tobago People's Party. We pray, God, you bless them, bless our leader, bless the executive of the Tobago House of Assembly, and bless each and every one of us as we journey through this election time. May you protect us in all walks of life. Amen.
Thank you. Right. Honorable Chief Secretary, political leader of the TPP, Honorable Farley Chavez Augustine, Deputy Political Leaders, Secretary of the TPP, all other executive members, secretaries of the Assembly, assistant secretaries, ladies and gentlemen, good night. We have come to Castara tonight, and Castara is a very significant place because I am told that a man by the name of A.N.R. Robinson, this happens to be his hometown. And ladies and gentlemen, in the spirit of Robinson's fight, we are here tonight to educate you as we have done over the past couple of weeks. The privilege is mine to welcome you, whether you are here in person, whether you are on the World Wide Web, whether you are on social media, wherever you are. Tonight I say to you, and I give to you a Castara welcome. We have lots of things to say tonight. Tonight will be... And ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to waste any time. Time is far gone. I want to invite a community leader, activist, Mr. Fitzherbert Taylor, to endorse the candidate for Tobago East. Ladies and gentlemen, help me to welcome Fitzherbert Taylor.
TPP family, blessings in the name of the Most High, the one who I serve, Christ Jesus. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I want to welcome you on behalf of this community. This community that is known for its hospitality. And I also, out of my heart, and I look forward to Brother Tomo fighting the fight in the Parliament for internal self-government. Brothers and sisters, I have no other fight to fight. I wish no other but that we in Tobago, like the children who came from the land of Egypt, be able to determine and to rectify things on the island, my brothers and sisters, to determine our destiny. And I know Brother Tamo will fight that fight in the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago. A.N.R. Robinson took the torch, and someone needs to run with it from this point onward. And I want to endorse Brother Tamo for that purpose. Brothers and sisters, welcome Brother Tamo, and I look forward to internal self-government for Tobagonians. Blessings in the name of the risen and ascended Lord Christ Jesus.
Powerful man, boy. Powerful man. Well, the TPP is loaded with powerful people. Very, very loaded. You know, sometimes some of the people I hear speak and impress me the most are those we hardly hear. And tonight there is another man who is coming here to speak to you. Assemblyman, Mr. Nigel Tate, where are you? Come, partners, come. Come quick. Come on my left-hand side here, sir. Come on my left-hand side. Huh? Listen. This gentleman is a man of honor. This gentleman is a man who has been in service and has deviated not one fraction of an inch from good service to the people of Tobago. Wherever they put him, he does serve. And I want to ask you a question. You have your grandmother Bible?
I don't work with it tonight. Pleasant good night to each and every one. Let me acknowledge the political leader of this wonderful party and the Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly, Mr. Farley Chavez Augustine. Deputy political leaders, Dr. Faith Brebner, Assemblyman Trevor James, Assemblyman Natisha Charles Spanton, Chairman of the beautiful party, Ms. Anne Natasha Second, Mr. David Tomo Joseph Thomas, who is the candidate for Tobago East. And he will be our next parliamentary representative for Tobago East. Let me also acknowledge my colleagues, other secretaries and assistant secretaries and councillors. But most of all, let me acknowledge you, the family of TPP. All right. Well, my name is Nigel Tate. I'm the area representative for Signal Hill, Patience Hill. And I want to use this opportunity right now to congratulate Castara on winning the Tobago Football Association competition last week. But you know what was ironic? Was that Castara played Signal Hill, which is my team, for the finals. So I must congratulate them because it was a hard fight. Another one, TD2, right? Anyhow, I am here tonight to deal with issues that is affecting we here in Tobago. I'm not here to talk what the Red Army is talking about. When them come on the platform to talk, it's only nonsense. Let me change Red Army to Red Answer. They're talking, telling people to sit down and shut up. We don't do that. We talk about issues. They're calling people idiots. We don't do that. We're talking about issues. They're calling people misresidents. We don't talk that. We talk about issues. Recently, I hear one of them in Trinidad calling me JA. We don't talk about that. We talk about issues. But you know what vexed me? When the candidate for Tobago East with the red ants talk about my cousin Tomo and he belly and he can't go uphill. Well, let her know my belly big too. And if Tomo can't go up the hill, are going with him and are holding the hand, and two are we going to make it up together. Because you know why? This is a never-ending journey that we are on here right now. We are not ending in this. We're completing this journey. You could get 1 foot. You could get no foot. You could blindsided. You could get big belly. Whatever you have, the whole team making sure that we go together and we're going to make it to the end. You know why? Because we are TPP and we are family. We fight for the issues of Tobago. On the platform, and when I'm listening to our Chief Secretary talk, along with our 2 candidates for Tobago East and West, they talk about autonomy. You hear them talking about that? No. You hear them talking about education for our children in Tobago? You hear them talking about employment for the youths in Tobago? All right. You hear them talking about crime, how to prevent crime in Tobago? But when they're talking, it's all kind of foolishness they're talking, trying to deviate we Tobagonians' mind. But let us know that we're on a journey of success. So I, Nigel Tate, man from yard, I am here to tell each and every person living in Tobago East, come April 28th, 6 a.m., get up, get out of your bed, brush your teeth, bathe, make sure you're good, and go to your polling station and look for the anchor. I'm going to talk about that just now. Look for the anchor, and you're looking for David Joseph Thomas, and you're jamming your X in the box right there for Mr. Thomas. And if you're living in the West, you're going to put your X for Joel, Nutsi, Marcus, Samson. Make sure you put the X there for him. Right? So at the night of the 28th, we will be victorious. And I must be able to say, yes, I helped carry Thomas up the hill. And Joel come and help carry all the way up the hill. And I must say, everybody came together and we carry up all to the top of the hill. And we made it. And we are going to get our 2 representatives in Parliament to represent us here in Tobago so that they could fight for our autonomy. Now, let me give you a little history, right? I spent 30 years on the port, as a port police officer. Mr. Nurse could attest to that also, because we did a little collaboration within my tenure. And I have a passion for fighting crime in Tobago. Right? Our borders right now are so porous that all kind of illegal things are entering our island of Tobago, and Trinidad also. Reason being, those that are in power have not done anything to improve the security system in Tobago to help alleviate crime. On the port, we so long we have been asking for proper scanners, vehicle scanners, even K9 dog. K9s, we need that there to help alleviate the crime that could detect illegal weapons, guns, ammunition, drugs, all these things. After being 30 years on the port, I was placed in the Division of Food Security, Natural Resources, Environment and Sustainable Development, where the chief placed me to oversee the Division of Fisheries. Now, whilst there, I constantly receive calls from fishermen from Castara and environs, Palativian environs. And most of these calls they'll be saying, Mr. Tate, we are seeing illegal vessels out in the territorial waters of Tobago. We need help. And when I take up my phone and I call the Coast Guard, now the Coast Guard willing to work here. Let me make that clear one time. They are willing to work. But when I call on the Coast Guard, this does be the answer. Mr. Tate, we have no boat. Mr. Tate, we have no boat. So which means our borders are wide open. And yet, we have 2 persons in Trinidad working on behalf of us, and they does nothing. When I say nothing, I tell you nothing. We are hearing this on a daily basis, that illegal immigrants, illegal drugs, illegal arms, ammunition are entering into our countries. And we can do nothing because why? We don't have no Coast Guard vessel. That is what I'm saying. I have a passion for crime. One life taken via gun violence. It has hurt me because I was on the port for years and I know I have fight and struggle to avoid these things coming into this country. So I know with David Joseph Thomas going down in Parliament, I know he's going to fight to help secure our borders, to alleviate crime in this sweet little island we call Tobago. And I know Joel Marcus Sampson is going to do the same thing too. These are the issues that we need to be fighting for we in Tobago to help save our children. I would like to see my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren. And I'm sure everybody here want to see that too. Right? So for that to happen, we have to vote wise. We have to look for warriors. We have 2 females down there. We ain't getting nothing done. It's only promises after promises after promises. We have 2 fighters who are willing to go. And in order for them to go, we are the ones have to put them there. We have to put them there. It's only promises after promises after promises. We have 2 fighters who are willing to go. And in order for them to go, we are the ones have to put them there. We have to put them there. And if I listen to the passion of our 2 candidates, Mr. Thomas, who are so experienced in the field of, let me say, military also. And we have Mr. Joel Sampson, who is also passionate towards community development, helping people, helping the youths, creating programs. These are the kind of persons we want to represent us in Parliament. All you say so? So come the 28th of April, what are we going to do? We're going to vote out the PNM. So come April 28th, what are we going to do? Now, man, I find all you're talking soft by. What are we going to do come April 28th? Vote them out. I hear what I'm saying. Give your next 5 years to do what? To bring more tears in our eyes? So the mother gonna be crying for the picnic? We get enough of that. No more 5 years to them. The next 5 years plus years will be for our 2 candidates, Joseph Marcus Thomas. David Joseph Thomas and Joel Marcus Sampson. If all of watch the ballot paper, all pay particular attention to it too. I don't know who it is print the paper or how we come out so. But they put me by like a black box. And you ain't seeing the symbol too good. So let's take all the time because we don't want no spoiled ballots on that day. We don't want none. I was in a spot meeting recently and I heard one of my colleagues said that she lost by 5 votes. 5 votes. We don't want to lose by no 5 votes. We want to win by hundreds of votes. So I don't want nobody to say next morning that they forget or they didn't get time to go. But I will make this statement here, and I included the fishermen also in Castara. Come the morning of April 6th, I know you all will want to go out and do all the fishing and whatsoever. But I'm begging, please, I'm begging, please, before you go out, Go find a polling station and vote. 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 Because the experience my colleague had, and she shared it with us tonight, I don't want that again to happen to us. And again, to take your time, watch the box properly, right? Some people that say it, ram the X. Then I say ram the X. But you know them young people that like to use the word jam. So I tell us to jam the X. Jam it where it's supposed to be. Jam it by the anchor. Jam it for the TPP. Jam it for David Joseph Thomas, for Tobago East, and jam it for Tobago West, for Joel Marcus Sampson. We need that. You see that 60,000 crab in a barrel where the XPM talk about? Let me share this with all you. I just hunt. If all you know red crab, some just call it man crab, catch man crab and put them in a barrel, and so much days they will survive. Within 2 days' time, they're dead. Catch a blue crab and put it in a barrel, and see how long they're going to live. Weeks upon weeks upon weeks. So that is a signal that we, the blue crab, the 60,000 blue crab in Tobago, we are here to live on. And we're here to support one another. And we are going to make it. And we're going to hold one another hand. And we're going to cross the finish line together. And when we're done, you know what we're going to say? God blessings, God blessings, God blessings. I thank you, people of Castara. I thank you, TPP family. I love you all. And Mr. Joseph Thomas, my cousin. And to Mr. Joel Sampson. All my best, and may God guide each and every one of us here until that day, so that we'll be able to do what we're supposed to do, and that is vote them out. Vote them out. I thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.
We vote in TPP, not that 1% party. Can't put me in slavery. We vote in TPP. All my people jumping because election morning is TPP. We voting, call the crab in a barrel. Gas price keep rising, but salary not changing. We fed up on the same thing, copy and them keep thieving. So vote them out. Are you playing crazy or what?
Let me song the warning. Let me song a warning. Now, I don't want you to go into the voting booth angry, you know. Let us not look back in anger nor forward in fear, but around us in awareness. What I want you to do is that you take the stamp and you rest it gently down by the X. Because if you got to ram it, it may go off to the balize. So you put it there. And when you're done, you take your hand and you stamp him. All you understand what I'm saying? All you understand what I'm saying? What is the symbol? I find all your coal. I find all your coal tonight. Yes, but listen, it's only a matter of days. This is, after now, is 3 more nights. And we are at the polls. So we have an important exercise, and that is to vote out the PNM. You know, since our convention, when the candidate for Tobago East was called out, I never heard the woman talk so much. Me never know she could have talked so much. You understand what I'm saying? But she's not making sense. I will deal with a few issues as we go on, with which she dealt, and I will show you what the nonsense that they are talking. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a packed program tonight, and we have some entertainment for you. Oh, you're too cold. Get up and wave your flag.
Hey.
Let me put on my English voice. Is Splinters here? All right. Going once. He come in? Well, we want you in our partners.
Good night, good night. Pull it back, DJ. Well, I bring the whole crew to represent for the youths and them, right? Bounce it. Yo, Tomo. So remember Tomo in the east and not in the west, right? Now we get bounce now.
60,000.
All the elders, now we go now. You are balance. Election, we are vote TPP, yeah, we strong bad. Them other party must be gone mad. Deep down in the youth, you put it. Election, we are vote TPP, yeah, we strong bad. Listen, all the youth, take it for dance now. TPP, what we say? Afalia, what we say? The rest of them, they right with money. Yo, big up Tomo, big up not say ya. Check me IG, we too clean, yo, check me IG. The whole of Castara, that are the right choice for the country. Pull up. TPP, good night. Say balance. Give them a dance now. Give them the balance dance. The balance dance. Yeah, stamp the anchor. Stamp the anchor. Stamp the anchor. Yeah.
60,000 strong.
Yeah. Now we go now. Get to you. Balance. Election, we are vote TPP, yeah, we strong bad. Them other parties must be gone mad. Deep down in the youth, you put the anchor, hey. Election, we are vote TPP, yeah, we strong bad. Them other parties must be gone mad.
Can't move, we know can't conquer.
TPP, what we say? Afalia, what we say? The rest of them just a bribe with money. Yo, big up Tomo, big up not stay here. So check we IG. We too real, yo, check we IG. The whole of Castara, TPP. That's the right choice for the country, yeah. Wait. Election, we are vote TPP, yeah, we strong bad. Them other parties must be gone mad. Deep down in the youth, you put the young Election, we are vote TPP, yeah, we strong bad. Them other parties must be gone mad.
Deep down in the earth, we young.
Me feel me have to vote. Me fed up on the promises, me can't take it no more. On the 28th of TPP, we voting it for sure. Political gimmicks, you know see the immature.
You know see them immature.
We wait Fally, we wait not see, we wait Tomato. PP, yeah, that's the right thing for do. From Shalafil,
we want
pull up! Balance! Good night. It was nice, TPP. All the youths and them stand up. All the elders and them stand up. TPP is the right choice, right?
Get them the anchor, get them. We go get them the anchor, get them. Get them the anchor, get them. We go get them the anchor. The anchor was, the anchor was, the anchor was, the anchor was. This election, this trouble, will be problems. This trouble, they will need protection. This trouble, cause it's mixed for all of them. This trouble, the TPP.
All you ready to go home? All you ready to go home? All right, we are more. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a beautiful lady in the assembly. I don't know when they chose that woman whether they were thinking of a beauty contest. But the woman pretty, and she get one pretty smile. But when it comes to the figures, she is proficient at those figures. Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker who will grace you, Miss Petal Ann Roberts, Councillor, Secretary for Finance in the Tobago House of Assembly. And ladies and gentlemen, I ask you to join me, please. Stand up, get up, as the nice lady comes to the lectern. Come on, get up, give me a...
In the Savior.
really. TPP family, good night. Good night to the Tobago People's Party and to the Master of Ceremonies. Thank you very much. I'm blushing. Good night also to the 60,000 strong Tobagonians that are listening to us here tonight. And tonight is about support and endorsement. And tonight I'm going to give us some homework. Sometimes we come and we speak here on the platform, but I'm going to give you a charge tonight. Whatever I say, you could go and check it. And you could see that we don't lie in the Tobago People's Party. We know who the liars are. And I'm going to be very outright tonight. We have one problem in this country, and it's the People's National Movement. But before I get all hot and start to talk, allow me to acknowledge and recognize, in our absence though, who will be here shortly, is the political leader and the Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly, the Honorable Farley Chavez Augustine, our deputy political leaders, Dr. Faith Brebner, Assemblyman Trevor James, and Assemblyman Natisha Charles Pantin. I also want to acknowledge and recognize the chairman of the Tobago People's Party, Ms. Ann Natasha II, as well as my colleagues, the secretaries and assistant secretaries here tonight. Also, our candidate, I'm seeing Tomo here tonight, who I endorse. I publicly support, and I want to tell him, sometimes some of us are the specialists. I'm a chartered accountant, I'm the Secretary of Finance, I've been working in the Assembly, and anything you want, information, backing, I am here to support you. And I want to let the Tobago people know that there are people backing the two candidates here in Tobago. I want to also recognize the constituency that I am from, Joel Notsi Sampson. I'm not seeing him yet, but I want to publicly recognize him and let him also know that you have my backing and my support in this election and going forward. And also for the people of Castara for having us here tonight. Thank you. Let me also thank the political leader and the organizers of the party for allowing me to speak, because I think what I have to share is very valuable. And you will understand why it is important to vote out the People's National Movement. And it is time for proper representation. And we have some committed, capable soldiers among us, David Thomas and Joel Sampson. Let me introduce myself and let you know a little about me. I wouldn't spend too much time on that, but as the Master of Ceremonies introduced me, I am Petal Ann Roberts, and I am a daughter of the soil. I am from Canaan, and I was recently in June appointed by this administration, your Secretary of Finance. It's not for me. I'm serving you, the people of Tobago. And I'm also letting you know the ethos and the values of this party to serve you. I am not doing this for money. I am not doing this for fame. I hate fame. I hate publicity. But it is for you, the people of the Tobago, that we are doing this for. And we are representing this party rightly at a time like this. So for David Thomas and Joel Samson, you have excellent and good backing here tonight. Tonight, what I want to share with you are the separation of the Tobago House of Assembly's responsibilities and the responsibilities of the central government. Right, the responsibilities of the central government. The Tobago House of Assembly is governed by an act. It's Act number 40 of 1996. And this act has some sections in it that tells the people of Tobago what the Tobago House of Assembly is responsible for. And the first item is revenue collection. Revenue collection. You all know the Board of Inland Revenue in the Victor E. Bruce Financial Complex? Right. That's where we collect our taxes and even the non-tax revenue. We collect it there on behalf of you, the people of Tobago. And let me tell you what Trinidad did, the central government did in December 2021. While everybody was busy getting ready for Christmas celebrations, few days before Christmas, they took a bill to the Parliament called the Trinidad and Tobago Revenue Authority Bill and passed it in the Parliament, and it is now an act. And what that act does, it separates the powers that the THA has. And when I tell you I'm giving you homework tonight, you could go on Google and search TTRA Act number 17 of 2021 and check section 26. Section 26 says that in Trinidad, the Director General of the Trinidad and Tobago Revenue Authority will now collect all the revenues and send it down to Port of Spain. The two representatives that we currently have never told you that, but I will tell you tonight. You know why? They pass bills and acts without proper consideration of the people of Tobago. You know why? They don't care about you. But on April 29th, when David Thomas and Joel Samson goes down to Trinidad and to represent us in the Parliament, we're going to fight to repeal that and amend it. And let me tell you why. As Secretary of Finance, I have already started that charge. I brought these issues to the Minister of Finance in September 20th last year to be exact. And I outlined the flaws in this act, where they want to disband the Board of Inland Revenue and Customs Division and now form an organization called the Trinidad and Tobago Revenue Authority. This authority, do you know they made no provisions for the people of Tobago, the staff in Board of Inland Revenue? Believe it or not. And we have two representatives that sit in the Parliament, not representing the people. Staff are coming to me, and they are saying their colleagues in Trinidad receive options to join the TTRA, and they have not done a thing for the people of Tobago. And imagine, I wrote the minister in December of 2024 of all the issues, and to date, not a thing was done. He's now gone to another ministry, and we are left to treat with this on our own. But you know what? We need the people of Tobago to vote out the PNM, vote the Tobago People Party, so that we can go down and amend that act so that we are very much represented. And I'm not finished with the TTRA. Imagine, I don't know if there are people here who go to the Roxborough Revenue, District Revenue Office, and they recognize you can't pay a property tax there. They're sending you to Scarborough. You know why? Because the poor staff, they have not trained them. They have not given them access to the software. They haven't given them computers and scanners, but their colleagues in Trinidad and every single district office in Trinidad is well represented under this new body. And in Tobago, you're treating us like bastard children. So you know what will happen on April 28th? You have to take your neighbor. Tell them what I say. I am not telling you this after anybody, you know. I am telling you this as a daughter of the soil. As somebody here in Tobago that is seeing the neglect, and it's calculated neglect. It's not that they forget. They are doing this deliberately to the people of Tobago. They want to oppress us. They want us to look like we don't know what we're doing. But this time we don't have the resources. We don't have the computers in the Board of Inland Revenue. And let me tell you, I can't even buy the computers. You know why? Because the Inland Revenue said there are security features that they have to input. So they will provide the computers for the staff. And you know what? Up to today, they have not provided them. But we have some representatives in Trinidad who are not fighting for you. They are fighting for their party and for themselves. And this is what we face. So when you're talking to your neighbor or your friend who undecided, tell them that there's a Secretary of Finance who is backing Tomo and backing Nazi to vote the Tobago People's Party so that we can care about you. We can consider you. We are people too. We are very important people. As a matter of fact, you would see how important these two seats, the Tobago West seat and the Tobago East seat, how important they are in this election. So I want you to tell them we are important. And if you're not considering us, we're not voting you. We are considering you. I have already started the fight. I have already written to the minister with all the proposed amendments that we want. And I'll tell you what they include. 1, amend Section 26, and I want you all to go and see Section 26 for yourself. Don't take my word, although I tell you my word is my bond. I try not to tell lies as much as possible. Google TTRA Act number 17 of 2021. Look at Section 26 and see what it says. It says that all funds collected by the TTRA would be deposited in Trinidad. And they're talking about autonomy for Tobago. Is that autonomy? That is not autonomy. That is to have your feet in shackles as they have been trying to do. But we're fighting them. The second thing that I wrote as a proposed amendment is to ensure that Tobago, the Secretary of Finance, has a say in this act. There is no provisions for the THA and the TRA to speak, to communicate. So therefore, they want to silence us because the act made no provisions and no considerations for Tobago. So there's an amendment, and there's also an amendment to include the chief administrator as one of the persons that can sit on the board of the TTRA so that you can be represented. It's not for me. This is not for Fali. We are doing this for you. So as I will say, when you're speaking to the people, your neighbors, your friends, your family, and they ask you why we should vote for this party, let them know that we have, I don't know what you want to call them, 2 ladies sitting in a seat, looking all glamorous and nice, and that is just about it. But we are representing you. Let me go to another section of the THA Act, which is called, it's sections. So I just told you about the 5th schedule, and I only told you about one of the 33 items because of the interest of time. But I want to go to the 6th schedule, which has about 11 items. And the Act clearly states that the THA should not have responsibility. Not. And this one is national security, and I'm happy that Tate also made a reference to that, in that our borders in the sea is very porous. We are very vulnerable, no, but we serve a living God who protects us. And in the absence of that, the kinds of infiltration we will see here in Tobago, woe unto us. Because the National Security Ministry is responsible for securing us, the citizens of Tobago. But under the administration that is currently in office, they have neglected us. They have denied us the things that all other persons in the country, in Trinidad, they have it. But we don't have Coast Guard vessels, because Tate just said it. We don't have enough police vehicles, which I want to tell you, we rent. The Tobago House of Assembly rent additional vehicles, and I'll tell you, we are breaking the law, for a good cause. For a good cause. The Act says that we should not have responsibility. But if we don't do that, what will happen to us here in Tobago? Crime will be at an all-time high. So we rent and we provide vehicles to protect you, our people of Tobago, to bolster and supplement what the TTPS has. We also pay for accommodation. This is something else that we shouldn't pay. When the high-ranking agencies of the national security, like Defense Force and the TTPS, we house them. You know why? Because the Ministry of National Security has neglected them. And we have decided this is important for you, the people of Tobago. So we have decided to take up this expenditure, even though we have limited resources. And I hope you understand that. Now, if we send Tomo and Joel down to Trinidad in the Parliament, the Tobago House of Assembly will have more resources to take care of the 33 things that we have responsibility for. They will have to fight with whoever the Ministry of National Security is. And we're hoping it's not the PNM, because we're going to vote. Because our votes are very critical. Our votes are very golden to this election. Let me get to another section of the Act. And this is another schedule, it's schedule, the 7th schedule, or Schedule 7, that says that we have to have certain services. It's not that the Tobago House of Assembly will be responsible for, but the other ministries in Trinidad must provide. And I'll give you one of them. The Act says these services must be provided to the people of Tobago. And I'm going to tell you about one, and it's the Registrar General Office. Try to go and get a birth paper, or let your birth paper have an error that you have to try to fix. They're sending you down to Port of Spain. As a matter of fact, the Registrar General Tobago office is controlled in Trinidad. But Thomo, David Joseph Thomas, and Joel Nutsi Sampson will fix that. They will fix that for us. Because the Tobago House of Assembly current act, as flawed as it is, that's what governs us. That is what governs us. And it says in the Act, go and check it for yourself. Go and Google THA Act. Go to Schedule 7 and you will see services to be provided in Tobago. Registrar General is one. And we can't have proper Registrar General services in Tobago. And the relevance of that is, if we have representatives of Tobago and not necessarily a party, sitting in the Parliament to represent you, all these things will be rectified going forward. And as I said, the real problem in this country is the PNM. Imagine, we had a catastrophe in Tobago, a disaster that we didn't plan for on February 7, 2024. There are staff that work 24/7. The Chief Secretary would tell you, he worked right through, he didn't sleep. We have staff that never slept. This was an event for us that took all out of us. And can you imagine? The political leader, who is the ex-prime minister, is trying to scandalize an oil spill, a disaster that affected all of us. To say that the Tobago House of Assembly, so he's saying me, sent down to Trinidad a request for 2 Prados. And the evidence is a WhatsApp message between him and some other body who we don't even care about. Imagine that. That's the evidence. And I want to tell Tobago, let us vote against lies. Let us vote against misrepresentation. Let us vote against misinformation. Let us vote against falsification. Let us vote against neglect. And I take this one to heart because I cannot understand how a leader of a country for so many years, so can you imagine how much other lies he would have told over his tenure? This one showed me, and I want you to tell your neighbor, your friend, your family member, why we have to vote the Tobago's People Party. Why you have to put your ex by the anchor. Why you have to vote for David Thomas. Why you have to vote for Joel Nazi Sampson. It is very important for you to do that. Because Tobago, I'll tell you, we never realized our fullest potential yet. This is the only opportunity, a time like this, in 2025, for us to realize our fullest potential and get what we deserve. My last point is not necessarily about money. What I have experienced, I am in this role now for about 9 months. June will be a year. And it is very disheartening to sit and see firsthand how this government has treated Tobago. I've been in this assembly for 16 years, but I want to tell the people of Tobago this. It is critical now more than ever for you to vote the Tobago's People Party. We have gone through economic oppression. We have gone through a kind of imperialist slavery, slave-like syndrome. We have been neglected deliberately and intentionally. And this is the time to free Tobago. This is the time for empowerment. This is the time where you would see proper representation. And let me tell you this last thing, which is not necessarily about money. It is about money, but it's not money in the coffers of the assembly. There are agencies around the world that support countries when countries experience disasters, like hurricanes, things like oil spill, earthquake. They lend a helping hand, but they don't reach out to the sub-sovereign government. The THA is sub-sovereign. They reach out to the sovereign, which is Trinidad, the central government. And let me tell you what we have experienced. I'm going to give you about 3 or 4. Unjust, unreasonable, and unfair. You all remember Beryl that passed last year? When Beryl passed, we sent down to Trinidad. TEMA sent to Trinidad. And it's unfortunate we have to send everything down there because they have everything down there. And then we sing a national anthem that every creed and race find an equal place, but we'll get there soon. When Beryl passed and we submitted the claims for the damages, because it's your homes that were destroyed, your roofs came out. There was a school in country, I think it's Ebenezer. The roof came off. And there's an insurance that the government pays for Trinidad and Tobago. And you know where's our insurance policy? If you have 2 cars in your yard, you can't have one policy. You have 2 policies, one for car A and one for car B. So there's a policy for Trinidad and there's a policy for Tobago. So the government made the claim for Trinidad. They didn't see much damages. Their claim was about $50,000 US. And Tobago's claim, or what they would have compensated to Tobago, was about 200 and something thousand. I think it's about $258,000 US. And I went to the minister on August 30th last year and I said, Minister, how can we access this money? Because we have some damages in Tobago that we needed to take care of. And you know what the minister said to me? Oh, they ain't getting that. Oh, they don't pay no premiums. Now, if we send David Thomas and Joel Sampson, we will reinforce the support for the Tobago House of Assembly. Because there is no other representative in the room. I don't go by myself. I go with a full team. So what I'm telling you, I have witnesses. This is what we experienced. And to date, we never got that money for burial. You know what we had to do? We had to neglect and forfeit some other expenditure to ensure that we fix some of these people. As a matter of fact, there's a gentleman in Bethel with a tarpaulin on his roof because we cannot help everybody. That's just the reality of it. Because we have 33 items on the schedule. If they got the payout for the insurance, why don't they just give it to Tobago? Because the policy of the PNM is strife and oppression for you. You shouldn't be free and you shouldn't get what is rightfully yours. Let me give you another example. At the Division of Finance, I'm trying to establish a Tobago Development Fund so that you can access technical support, financial assistance for your businesses as entrepreneurs. We currently have the BDU, but we can't stay in BDU mode. We want to grow. We want to do big things. We want to grow the economy. So the IDB, who we have, the Inter-American Development Bank, we have a very good relationship with them, and they provide support to any country, even the sub-sovereign. And they said, we can give you technical support to start this bank, but you need a non-objection letter from the Ministry of Planning. We have written, we have called, we have pled on your behalf. You know what happened? They denied us again. But if we send David Joseph Thomas and Joel Sampson, at least we have a reinforcement, we have proper representation to say these are the things that the Tobago House of Assembly needs. But I'll tell you something, I don't think all central government ministers do this, you know. I think this is the policy of the PNM. And it is our responsibility here in Tobago to get rid of them forever. It is our responsibility to get rid of them. And I'll share one more with you. When the oil spill occurred, obviously, you know, a lot of agencies would have reached out to the THA to give help. But as I said, they usually don't give it to the sub-sovereign island directly. Another agency, a bank, gave the central government $200,000 US to the THA. And again, they have denied us. And it is unimaginable to think that we have two representatives that sit and is comfortable with the neglect that you all are getting. And I'll tell you something, you know what is interesting? Their same supporters, it is interesting, are the ones who are being denied. But they wouldn't speak about that. I will speak about it. So that we will all educate ourselves and sensitize ourselves against what is currently happening in Tobago. So, on April 28th, let us vote for empowerment. Let us vote for freedom. Let us vote against neglect. Let us vote for proper representation. Vote for respect. Vote for David Thomas in the east and Joel Sampson in the west. Put your X by the anchor and vote the Tobago's People Party. Vote the Tobago's People Party. It doesn't matter if the symbol looks small. Know who your representative is. You will see Sampson big and you will see Thomas big. These are the people. Get the X in the box next to their names, next to their anchor, and vote the Tobago People's Party. Thank you very much.
The anchor! The anchor! Miss Roberts, I want to ask you one question. when all this was happening, where was representative for Tobago East? And where was the representative for Tobago West? Well, all right. Let me not burden you with that. I had no empty chair here because Joel took his chair and David took his chair. So I want to ask respectfully, Miss Ayanna Webster Roy, where were you when all these things were happening to Tobago? Well, she wouldn't answer me. I know she won't. So let me go to Miss Kojo Lewis. Miss Shamfa Kojo Lewis. When this injustice was happening, where were you and what did you do? Can't answer. So what are we going to do on the 28th? Vote them out. Vote them out. We have a man from Delaford. Mr. Robinson used to pronounce it Delaford. But upper country, I would have said Delaford. And the man hot like China, you know. He's full of energy. Ladies and gentlemen, he started his career as a teacher and ended up in the Tobago House of Assembly. The man I'm talking about, help me to welcome Orlando. Orlando! Orlando! Orlando Kerr.
All aboard! The shipping over! TPP crew! We all of that! All of come in! Come in! When you hear the horn song, all about the TP.
Good night, Castara. Good night, Palatufie. Good night, Lansome. Good night, TPP family. Good night, Tobago. Let me recognize our political leader, Honorable Charlie Farley Chavez Agustin. I don't know, go know with me. I don't know if you're working over here. They go sue me because I said that. Right. Our deputy political leaders, our chairman, all you lovely, beautiful TPP people, good night, and the rest of Tobago. Now, I want to try to talk a little bit slowly tonight because I don't want people to miss anything. Because this is what we call crunch time. You know when you're playing a game, I used to play football. Well, I still play football. And you're in the 90th minute of the game. And it is the time for you to buckle down, to win that game. You have to concentrate. And you have to ensure that you get it right. So this is what we call crunch time. We have a few days to go before the election. And we know what we are up against. I don't want you to underestimate the enemy. The support is good. I am happy to see so many of you out here tonight. But the job is not done. The job will be done after 6 p.m. on the 28th of April, not before. We need to ensure that we remain vigilant. We need to ensure that we stay the course. Many things are going to happen between tonight and the 28th. We know that these people have been campaigning very dirty. We know that every Monday morning they're releasing a video recording of somebody because they have nothing positive to show for the 10 years they have been in office. I am asking all Tobagonians to evaluate the performance of these two PNM candidates over the last 10 years. And I'm not going to call them representatives. I refuse to call them representatives. Think about your needs as a Tobagonian. Think about how many times you could say that as a Tobagonian, you would have heard either one or two of these representatives making a case for you, making a case for more resources for you. Have you ever heard any of these two representatives making a case for you? When we came into office, and every successive budget since then, they have cut it. Every successive budget for development for Tobago, they have cut the budget. We are now at a stage where we have gotten 205 million for development, which is not even 205. So if they can do that to you, think about this. I want you to think about this. If they can do that to you in an election year, what are they going to do to you if they get a fresh 5? What will they do to you, Tobago, if they get a fresh 5? They give you 205 in an election year. And our representatives, Ayana, Shamfa, Hislop, Ansel, Kelvon, all of them said that that is what you deserve as Tobago. That is what you deserve as Tobago, so you should get nothing. Remember, Tobago is the lesser developed of these two islands. So if it is that we have to stand side by side, then it means that you must put more resources into Tobago so that Tobago can develop. When you look at Trinidad, every single Monday morning is a new development. Every single day, something is happening there to stimulate the economy in Trinidad. What is happening to you in Tobago? They have placed a stranglehold on the government that you elected to run your affairs. They have ensured that nothing happens in Tobago. So that our budget is determined by the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago. And that is why we are sending 2 gentlemen down to the Parliament so that they can fight. So when we have a budget debate, they can represent you, the people of Tobago, so that they can ensure that you have more resources coming to your island. We have long spoken about the autonomy for Tobago. And sometimes I get very disappointed when I hear some persons in the Tobago space making autonomy a political issue. Autonomy is not a political issue. Autonomy is a Tobago issue. It should not matter which party you represent. Once you are a born and bred Tobagonian and you have Tobago at heart, you should want autonomy for Tobago. I know many of you know that I served as the Tobago Officer of Tutor from 2014 to 2020. And I went to Trinidad and I interacted with the Ministry of Education, the Teaching Service Commission, the CPO. And I can tell you that Tobago's issues have always been placed on the back burner. And that is why we need our autonomy. I fought for an extended sick leave for a teacher for 7 years before I got it. 7 years before a clerk in the Ministry of Education could approve extended sick leave for a teacher in Tobago. That is the kind of things that we are going through in Tobago. And if you look around this island and look at the number of services that Tobagonians have to go to Trinidad to get, and when you go down there, your documents are placed in a box and shoved in a corner. And you have to wait an inordinate long period to get some kind of redress. And that is what we experience continually. I left Tutor and could not believe that after 6 years, I could not get sick leave for teachers to be done in Tobago. Right? So we have to pack up your sick leave, send it to Trinidad, and wait for somebody in Trinidad to fix it. So we don't have bright people in Tobago to do that. And that is the kind of things that we have to be going through as Tobagonians. I want you on the 28th of April to say no more. Say no more. We have to send people to the parliament who are willing to fight for us. Not people who are thumping desks when things are against Tobago and who are saying aye and voting in the positive. We have to send people who are willing to stand up for Tobago. We have to send people who are willing to stop this advantage of Tobago. Tobago has been advantaged for far too long, ladies and gentlemen. For far too long we have been advantaged. It is time for Tobago to be liberated. It is time. The time is now. And I want to say to Tobago, do not let this opportunity pass. I have said it before. I said it, I think it was yesterday, and I said it earlier today. I want to plead with some persons in Tobago who vote based on sentimentalism. Their granny was a PNM. They don't even know why they vote in PNM. But they just vote in PNM because somebody way back when tell them to vote PNM. Look at the issues. Think about the issues. I want to talk about something that is very important. And it is this. Everybody, they are afraid of the TPP, and I can tell you why. They are seeing that we are getting stronger. And I'm recognizing that in this space, the parties are ganging up against the TPP. I want to tell you this before I leave, because this is important. So that there are two parties. All of a sudden, there's newfound respect for a gentleman that they used to say was mad. So all of a sudden, the political leader of the PNM is endorsing a particular person. All you know why? Tobagonians are not stupid. I want to tell Tobago that any vote for any party besides the TPP is a vote for the PNM. You have to know that. Be wise. I have confidence that Tobagonians are smart people. I have confidence that Tobagonians are intelligent people. See it for what it is. See it for what it is. Because you know what the intention is. I have one more point to make. Let me wrap up, but I have to make this point. One more point. Please permit me. Because it's important. We have a political leader of the PNM, an ex-prime minister. He said he wasn't closing on Petrotrin. He closed on Petrotrin. He said, no property tax. Bam, property tax. I want to ask the people of Tobago this, and the people of Trinidad and Tobago by extension. When they say that they're not touching the old age pension, all you believe that? When they say that they're not raising the electricity bill, all you believe that? Well, let me tell you what's going to happen. Take God out all your thoughts. And I'm not talking to both supporters here because all your son done inside. Take God out all your thoughts and vote PNM and see what will happen to all them. All the things that they said they're not doing, they are going to do. All of a sudden, and the people of Castara know this, when a fisherman lost at sea, we had to buy gas and go out with boat to see if we could find them. And all of a sudden, after 10 years, they ain't giving nothing. They promised me 2 Coast Guard boat. Who they fooling? Who they fooling? On the 28th of April, Tobago, you need to go to the polls in large numbers and send a resounding message to these people that they're not going to fool you. Vote for David Joseph Thomas and Joel Marcus Sampson. Our future of our children depends on it. Go out and vote early, and let us bring this home so that Tobago can move forward. Because the alternative is that Tobago will be on pause for the next 5 years. Ladies and gentlemen, go out on the 20th of April and vote the Tobago People Party. I thank you.
off the old mass and free to get dirty, boy.
One little announcement. The persons responsible for the screen, you are asked to send a representative to the white tent, please. In Tobago, we say, when candle give the brightest light when it go in, I'm not sure. When does a candle give its brightest light? Well, here you know. Let me tell you something. I have never seen propaganda develop so much as in the last 2 weeks. And when you see that, it's a signal to you that you are antagonizing those there. Now, there are only 2 people on trial here, you know. Maybe 3, maybe more, but 2. Shamfa Kojo in the west and Ayanna Webster Roy in the east. We are at this time preparing their appraisal. What grade are you giving them? What grade? Well, here now. They have failed us miserably. You understand what I'm telling you? And when are you going to grade them? On the 28th April, put in the X where? I hear you. Where's the ball is there? Are you mad? We are putting the X by the, because the anchor, Tomo, you are charged tonight. Every meeting that we have had in the last 2 weeks, the crowd has grown exponentially. Did you hear me? What they are signaling to you is that they have your back. And indeed we do. So when you go down to Parliament, you are going down with how many people? 60,000 strong. I want you never to forget these people. A Tobagonian. And no joke about it. The man is genuinely an intellectual. He watched me and you and Carla with crab in a barrel, boy. Eh? The man caught, he said, we'll be having like 60,000 crab in a barrel. How you feel about that? Nah. How you feel about that? All right. And we are going to do something about it. Now, the thing about Tobagonians, we don't make noise. We use the democratic means of making our voices heard. And indeed, our voices will be heard. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a man who is coming to this lectern to talk to you. David slew Goliath. Joseph prepared Egypt for the famine. And ladies and gentlemen, he rescued Israel in times of famine. I have no doubt. If you ever had any doubt, rest it. David Joseph Thomas, and Joel Samson are more than capable. And nobody is perfect, where there are shortcomings, he has 62 100,000 Tobagonians who will augment. Ladies and gentlemen, join me, help me in welcoming David Thomas to the lectern. Give me something.
First, yeah. Come on in it. TPP we voting for. Nancy in the West. We've been waiting so long. So long I've been waiting for election. So long I've been waiting for voting in the polls. Yeah. So long I've been longing for redemption. 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 TPP as we pumping. TPP as we voting. Come bring out a friend and them. We voting on PNM. TPP as we voting. TPP as we pumping. Come bring out a friend and them. We voting on PNM. Vote them out, vote them out, vote them out. Vote them out, vote them out, vote them out, vote them out, vote them out.
TPP people! Castara people! Palativier people! The peoples of Tobago West! The peoples of Tobago East! Good night to all of you and welcome to your day of liberation. Forgive me for taking up the mic, but I want to start on this note. And I will tell you why. I want you to join me in saying 2 verses of Psalms 23. The first one, verse number 1. The Lord is our shepherd and we shall not want. And the last one. Yea, though I walk through the valley of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Ladies and gentlemen, we are under attack. They started with a verbal attack, and they talk about my belly. But I want to tell them, when you see a man with something, be careful how you want to discredit him. Because my last physical check indicated that I have plenty brain. So I had to store some somewhere. So I store in it here. Then when they realize that they can't manage me with the belly, they attack me verbally. They attack me physically. But that is all right. But the reason for the scripture tonight is because they plan to attack me spiritually. But I will walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and I'll fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a way of taking things for granted. We have a way of allowing people external to our space to say the Tobagonian laid back. As a result of that, they invade our space and they take advantage of us. But this blue army around me now, I hope all are ready for the battle. Hold the fort, for I am coming. Thomas, and they may feel that a car pack a punch, that is all right. And they may look at Nazi and feel that Nazi calm. But what they don't know, the package they're getting is aluminum sulfate and sodium bicarbonate. We're going to explode in Port of Spain. You had 10 years to speak in the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago, which amongst about 480 occasions for you to speak. So let's say you wanted half of that to not talk, and you wanted quarter of the rest to talk stupidness, so the speaker to reprimand you. What about the rest. And you have to understand this is serious business. Don't get tired with the thing. Once you select people to represent you, and they do not, you have to offer them the door. Simple language. Offer them the door. Don't let them come and tell you, give them another chance. Because that next chance they're asking for is simply to ask for a next chance. You spent 10 years being a voterist. And for those of you who don't know what a voterist is, that is the person who sits in the parliament, and when the speaker say all in favor, say aye, and they say aye. That is their language. And they will tell you that they are bright. I gave the analogy in Pembroke earlier today. Ladies and gentlemen, when you are bright, you enhance your surroundings. That is what bright means. Don't bother with anybody. Check the light bulbs around here. If you didn't have a light bulb there, that area would not have been enhanced, so people could inhabit there. And they lost the opportunity to represent you and to prove that they are indeed bright. Look at the dismal picture when you look at Tobago. I don't know if you all are paying attention. We know the days when Scarborough had a batter, when they had a uptown drugs, right? Roxborough had a batter. But as these people continue to be in power, constant deterioration of the Tobago space. How many years now they're planning, they promised earlier that CNG would have been delivered to the shores of Tobago. And what we having, we still paying the prices that Colm Imbert raised 5 times, and he said we ain't protest. But we are going to protest with the finger on April 28th. And you know, man, I hope all you understand who all is sending down the road. You know what I heard these people saying today? To send 2 people, send 2 TPP people down to Trinidad, it make no sense. And why they want to go back? Huh? Why they want to go back? They want to go back because they see us as persons who are not intelligent. They believe that we don't understand what total quality means. And if you sit down and allow them to prove their point by not standing up on the 28th of April, then I would be a person who lose all respect for what I believe that Tobagonians were made of. We cannot walk around the place and allow people, imagine that, people outside the sovereignty of Tobago making our decisions. Where you learn that? We cannot allow that to continue to happen. We have proven that there are many niche products that we have developed in Tobago that makes plenty sense. And Castara, you are on top of the list when comes to that. You have a tourism product here that is spoken about far and wide. Why is it not that our representatives go to the parliament and make sure that you receive additional resources to expand your space? And the problem with all that for me, I know a very, very long time because I have a little background, a little medical background. And I know the only movable part of your face is your lower jaw. They call it the mandible. So if that don't move, you can't talk. So it means that they have a welding machine in Balizé House and they weld the lower jaw onto the upper jaw so they can't talk. Ladies and gentlemen, you would believe these people know anything about biology when they talk about my autonomy. But I might be overall in the front, but are excellent in brain, and are excellent in assessment, and are excellent in vision. And all that talk, let them give me a chance to sit down in that parliament come April 29th. And I will tell you, when the mid-year review comes up, to be going and to realize, they're going to say, but wait now, what we was going with them dotish people there? I do not like to call people names, but we have a next fella that balancing himself all about the place. And he is equal to the description given in the book of James when it says a wavering man is unstable in all his ways. All you're going and invest in that. Mind all your business and don't make those mistakes. The fella don't know what he wants. Sometimes you want prime minister. Sometimes you want to be mayor. Sometimes you want to be minister of national security. You want to be finance minister. No, come tell me. And the only thing the fella has proven all the time and every time, he's like the shaft that the wind driveth away. That is what the fella proved. I am telling you, the last gas finds that they have found, 26 of them, just outside Tobago, 19 is within the parameters of Tobago. Now, if you sit down and let them extract all of that, and Tobago does not benefit, I will have to cry shame on you. You have all the opportunity coming to you on April 28th. Enough of that dotishness. 365,000 barrels from the Calypso gas field. It passing you like a full bus. And you have no way of benefiting. You must be able to benefit from your natural resources. Do not let anybody cheat you out of that. But more than that, when you look at what has faced us over the past 10 years, I am sure you are now wondering if the meaning that they have placed alongside the word representation has changed. But I want to tell you, it has not changed. The opportunity will soon arrive when you send Joel Marcus Sampson down to the parliament. And oh Lord, all the boy David Joseph Thomas. Throw me in the deep and I will swim. Throw me in the deep. And if they think I'm not minding their business, I had a broad belt soaking for them. And I'm promising all you, when you become intimately attached to what delivery means, next year we have no meeting, all of us said, Tobago again. But I'm sorry for my opponents, because the EBC coffers will remain a little extended, because they're not getting back their deposit. You know. All you see, they're jumping up. They will not get back their deposit, because Tobago people who we have been educating for the last 25 years or more, you can no longer fool them. All the time we listening to old talk and prettiness as if you are Balizé flower. No! We are going to paint the tongue blue. And we're going to turn the whole place upside down when Joel Sampson and David Joseph Thomas comes to tongue. We will be in a place where we will wish them the last farewell. And that is because I love you, Tobago people. For you are beautiful. And I love you, Jelly. More jelly than the spoken word can tell. That song, the name of that song is The Last farewell. So let us tell them, oh mercy. And all mercy means goodbye. And let us tell them, thank you. We are not going to be ungrateful. We know we're thanking them for nothing. But that is all right. We are showing that we are human beings who understand a bit of gratitude. But when that is over, the match now starts. And I am hoping that whoever takes office understand that we have a mid-year budget due. And once that comes to the parliament, Tobago, put on your dancing shoes. We're going to rock away. We are going to rock away. This is not about bacchanal talk. A couple weeks ago, Junior Kwashi called me. The man said, Mr. Thomas, you can call my name. He said, oh God, Mr. Thomas, piracy on the waters, crimes on the waters, and our fishermen cannot fish in peace. Nobody heard that. I suppose because they have coined the phrase, nobody lives there, they cannot hear the people when they cry out with their agony. But that is all right. You have been favored by God. And he has given you 2 men. And we know when God can't come, he does send a man. Well, he's sending you 2. Let me see if you will not allow yourselves to be deliberated in this space. You have to look around you. The last time we had a commissioner trying to close down Moria police station when crime is of the greatest importance and interest in Tobago. Talk to our chief secretary. When the prison officers cried out, he had to respond to make sure that he added some stability to the accommodation down at Plymouth. And mine, I tell you now, I'm going to move that. I am going to move the prison from there. We're going Goldsboro because we are land up data plant. And Tobago must once again become the breadbasket of Trinidad and Tobago. So the chief secretary, in his wisdom, now we fail to recognize that small head man. The cranium that shapes the external part of his head has in it a quality brain. And the 2 eyes that you see there is a man of vision. And the man is actually constructing a master plan with a blueprint that all Tobagonians will become very familiar with. And when that plan is rolled out, Tobago will say, hold the fort for I am coming. But more than that, you have to take responsibility for the actions going forward. As I said to you this afternoon, this is a time for you to cast your bread upon the water. It will return to you tenfold because you have people in Tobago with the intellectual capacity, the administrative capacity, the financial expertise, and all the other skills and talents to run your island with great efficiency. And you should not give it up to anybody. Do not allow people to tell you what you deserve. Don't allow people to tell you what you deserve. And the next thing you don't allow people to do is to make decisions that you can make for yourself. Make your decisions and let the world respect you. Don't let them tell you that you deserve crumbs. We're not Lazarus. We're not that. And you have to understand that there is a day of reporting. You adults around here, What are you going to tell your children if you did not stand up and represent them in a meaningful and tangible way and make sure you secure their future? What are you going to say to them? You want them to look back and say, by in mommy and daddy days like them so in Duns by. No. You have the resources around here. You have the mental capacity to fight for the rights of Tobagonians. Do not allow this opportunity to slip you by. So when they believe that two giants going to the parliament cannot do anything, remind them this country has history. I don't know how they view Robinson and Murray back in the day, but they made the initial move. And today, we have graduated to where we have Act 40 of 1996. And I'm telling you, if we got to that level, we will move further. If we got to that level, we can do better. And the door is now open. And we are going to chart that course. We're going to rock the boat because we're going in tongue. And when we go in tongue and they feel the pressure, every knee shall bow and every tongue confess that we are the best. Ladies and gentlemen of Castara, a village that I love, and I feel that Castara has a road map that many of us can follow because whatever they do, they believe in what they do. And since that they have been setting that example, there is nothing wrong for all of Tobago to follow. And we believe that we can govern our own business. Autonomy is not a word for everybody else. It's also a word for Tobagonians. And we believe that. So let us stand up, claim it. Let us massage it. Let us examine all the variables and make sure we deliver to the shores of Tobago and we deliver to Tobagonians autonomy where we get to that point where we govern ourselves. We make our own decisions. We make our own laws. And we could tell Trinidad, take your steel beam and go. We are done with that nonsense. And if you listen to the passion in my voice, I can't wait for the starting gates to open because it's full gallop, full gallop, full gallop. And yeah, man, you know when you come around the bend, the commentator they say, and they are coming around the bend, and it's the final furlong. I'm not going to my whip because I could run, and I could ride, and I'm bringing it home for all you. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say to you tonight, and if you have not heard anything else, take responsibility for your future. Break no bones about that. Take responsibility for your future. I have 5 sons, and I have great admiration for them, and they have for me as well. And I'm telling you, they would tell you, I always encourage them to stand up. And if you do not stand up now, when you're going to stand up? Because all these people doing is trying to bring Tobago to a place where we appear to be Suxan, where we could only be going down and going down and going down. We have to reverse that. And when we are here, we call on this blue army to roll into Port of Spain. Let me tell you, them fellas in Tetron can't manage because we come in 60,000 strong. And we know they can't kill all of we. And we know that we come into town to make sure that we ram it on them and we extract what they have to give we and make sure that we bring it to this land so that the Tobagonians will become very familiar with prosperity. Ladies and gentlemen, do not ever doubt your ability You know, I was on the radio station a couple mornings ago, and somebody sent in a message to find out if Tomo had the aptitude. You think they understand what they're saying? Me not only get the aptitude, me get the attitude, me get the vision, me get the dreams, and let me tell you, me get the strength to carry all of them, and all 60,000 now, you pan me back down at the parliament there to make sure you get what you want. Ladies and gentlemen, as a firefighter, I know there is no explosive meter around here to measure my temperature gauge, because I get hot every time I think about the thing. My temperature gauge goes up. And I'm telling you, whether that bring explosive meter or dynamometer, if I have to explode, I exploding. And if they have to look for that turkey red oil to stabilize me, that is all right. But I got stabilize when victory is delivered to Tobago. So tell them no waste of time. Come in, fighting. And when I encourage you all, you go to the polls on April 28th. Let we ram the X. And we take in the victory for Tobago once and for all. And let everybody else stay in the corner. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I love you. Right? For you are beautiful. And I love you dearly. More dearly than the spoken word can tell.
There was good and evil. We chose good. Why raise the time of the Most High, ye sons of men? The rich man's wealth is in the city. Yeah. Destruction of the poor is his poverty. Lord, destruction of your soul is vanity. Yeah. Do you hear? I wanna rule my destiny.
All you bring the fire, big bread. Fire in Castara. Priscilla J. Owen wrote the song Will Your Anchor Hold. In the last stanza of that song, she says, when our eyes behold in the dawning light, shining gates of pearl the harbor bright, we shall anchor fast to the heavenly shore, with the storms all past forevermore. We have an anchor. We have an anchor. Now, you know, the PNM coined a phrase that an anchor only keeps the ship one place. Well, we anchor in Charlottesville to pick up people. We anchor in Tongue and we pick up people. We anchor in Canaan and we pick up people. We anchor in Castara tonight, and look the crowd. Look at the crowd. The message is clear and simple. The message is clear and simple. Let us not leave to chance the things that matter the most. And one single thing that is most important for Tobago is to set Tobago free. And come hell or high waters, we will be free. You know, too much talk. Too much talk. Now, we have an entertainer. How are you tell me? Friday night? Yeah. You here? Right. Ladies and gentlemen, you could push back the seat. Just put it aside, or let's get up. Get up. Or you sit down too long. Yes! Guardian night!
Check, check. Castara people!
You could get up and wave your flag!
Jam down people!
Jump wrong! All right.
Who we voting for? I ain't all you. What? All right. Blue is the code. Just now, don't start it yet. I must say blessed good night to Mr. Tomo. Really and truly, I listen tonight, and Jed, man, you touch my Jed. You touch my eye. You use two psalm I always use before I perform and after I perform. So before I even start anything, I go start it with our psalm, right? I man must say, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie in green pastures, he leadeth me beside the still waters, he restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yet though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for the Lord art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. The Lord prepares a table before me in the presence of thy enemies. The Lord anoints my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow us all the days of our life, and we shall dwell in the house of the Lord. Blue, we say, forever and ever. You see it. Wave it, man. Kick it off. Let me just have a little vibe, man. Just bounce.
Yeah.
And.
You hear me again?
Blue is the code. Who we voting for? Who we voting for? Yes, man. That you are like.
Blue, we say, you hear me?
Hear me now. Has a lady anchor down.
Anchor them, you hear me?
Lady anchor down. Has a lady. You hear me again?
As a lady anchor down, Tobago have 50,000 strong. Fly those blue flags high, wave them in the sky.
Yeah.
From the east to the west, Tobago we rise, we up the rest. TPP change the time.
And.
With Captain Farley, Tobago People's Party. Tobago People's Party. Tobago People's Party. We vote in TPP.
And wave now,
David are the reps.
Samson and
They
David
have
are the
no
best
match, they are the best standing side by side. With Farley as their guy. Anchored in a heart, strong that from the start. Let's just play our part. Lift your party high, unity and pride. Let Jah be your guide. Tobago People's Party. Tobago People's Party. Tobago People's Party.
Who we voting?
We voting TPP.
Level. So then, stop from calling his name and give them the blame. Trying to bring them down in shame. TPP not play no game. Oh, Jah bless no man well. And. Oh, you say TPP. Tobago People's Party. Tobago People's Party. Tobago People's Party. Who we voting for? We voting TPP. You hear me? Who we voting? Shh. Just bounce it. I give thanks for being here, and just before I leave, I say I start it away, and I go end it in the next way, right? I man say, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doeth he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers, that bringeth forth fruits in due season. The wicked are not so, Joe, but like a chaff, which the wind drive it away. Just like you hear what Tomo say, right? Natural. Therefore, the wicked shall not stand in the congregation of the righteous, for the Lord knoweth the way of the righteous. But you see the way of the wicked? You see the way of the wicked? You see the red, the P? You see the way of that wicked shall surely perish. You see what I'm saying? Have a blessed night, everybody.
Blue, we say.
You hear me again?
Anchor them, you hear me? I say lady anchor down, Tobago has 60,000 strong. Fly those blue flags high, wave them in the sky. From the east to the west, Tobago we rise, forget the rest. CPP change the tide with Captain Farley. Tobago people's party.
Well, I don't know what in the next few days the PNM will be engaged in. They engage in propaganda, they engage in physical violence, and all that they have done have failed. Tomo, stand up, let me see you. Look, the man, they're doing what they want, but he's standing strong. Thank you. Now, we're winding down, you know. I know all don't want to go home. But you know, we have more work to do tomorrow in we had a canvas, right? And let me commend those people down in the West. Let me commend those people in the West. You are doing an excellent job, but don't think you're doing way up in the East, you know. We are taking anything for granted. We are leaving nothing to chance. But let me just tell you, the work done in the West, that canvassing crew down in the West, ladies and gentlemen, just wave a flag for them. Wave a flag. Somebody asked me, they said, William, you know the PNM won the last general election in the West by 3,000 votes. You think you could turn around 3,000 votes? I said we could turn around 10. Because I am very certain that come the 28th, when those votes are counted, the announcement will be Joel Sampson in the West. And who in the East? And we will all get together and we will sing the Hallelujah song. Free at last. Free at last. Thank God Almighty. We are free at last. Ladies and gentlemen, my task this evening is to introduce the next speaker. A young man who has taken on a big man's job. A man who has evinced his ability that tonight I am tempted to predict that they are going to call on him to take up the mantle of leadership in Trinidad and Tobago. I predict that tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, we are not going to trade him for anything. The man we are talking about is from Speyside. He was educated at Speyside Anglican School, then Bishops, Mona campus of the University of the West Indies. But you know something, let me echo something here. You have a fellow walking around in Tobago and say that he will be the next Prime Minister. Now, if you have found that person's language is a little better, it is because I advised him, and he seemed to have in some way taken the advice that I gave to him. The last thing I told him, you must song your T's and your EDs, and you must speak a little slower. And he seemed to have taken it, but it's too little, too late. He has already. We want him. So, ladies and gentlemen, the next speaker, the political leader of the best party in Trinidad and Tobago. I call him Daniel. I call him Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego. I call him David because he is fearless and wise. Ladies and gentlemen, our Chief Secretary. our Chief Secretary. A man who will lead Tobago's autonomy fight. Fale, Chavez, Augustine. Help me, people. Help me welcome this man.
A week but I'm holding on in order to stay around in a life therapy imbalance. For it is nature's way until judgment day. Weakness ain't got a chance. Playing strong cause I realize the price little one must pay to keep the big one in paradise. This torment and misery all day. Destruction of the weak is nature's plan. The humble and the meek must understand. This day of the strong man is the devil's heyday. So they will bite the ground when the master play.
Castara, good night. TPP family, good night. Good night to the entire north side. Palatovier, Bloody Bay, Lansome, good night. Tobago East, good night. You know, I have a simple question to ask you tonight. Are you feeling the feelings? Are you getting the symptoms? Does it feel like victory? Are you ready for change? Are you ready for something new? Allow me tonight to acknowledge our deputy political leaders, Dr. Bremner, Mr. James and Mrs. Pantin, also chairman of the party, Ms. Second, and of course, our candidates for Tobago East and West. In the East, we have David, Joseph, Thomas. Let's hear it for him. And in the West, we have Joel, Marcus, Samson. Let's hear it for Nazi. I know that tonight we are already 12 past 10. And I'm always conscious of not wearing the saints. But there are some important issues for us to address tonight. And I want us to start with a very simple issue. The issue of the symbol of this party. It was on the 6th of April 2023, after a certain man put us out of his party. He went on public record and he said, "All you leave the party, this is my party. What I say goes. And if you can't do what I say, then leave and go and form your own thing." I realized that he and his new political leader, the former prime minister, they are trying to change the narrative. They are trying to behave as though Tobagonians have short memory. But with memory long, we don't forget. We don't forget. We don't forget how we put we out, how we cuss we, how we say and what we in the party, how is he party and what he says goes, and that we must not have an opinion. So after he put we out, and we decided, we say, look, this is no longer tenable. This man ain't listening. He said, give him a party. All of we graciously handed him our resignation letters and left the party with him. Because is he party? Is he symbol? Is he party name? But what he did not realize, that he was leaving
that all the oil in the coil was leaving. And when the pitch oil leave, the bullifay can't light. Because water can't light bullifay. I realize he has aligned himself with the PNM, but Balizé can't light bullifay. And we continue to stand on the side of oil. And in scripture, oil represents truth. And you heard from Secretary Roberts earlier tonight that you ought not to be deceived by those who seek to be deceptive. So after we resigned en masse, much to his prodding and pushing and poking, and we were looking to form a party, I was insistent on one thing, and that is that we form a party that belongs to the people of Tobago. In fact, I said to the team, I am not coming up with any name. I am not picking any symbol. I am not registering anything in my name. Farley Chavez Augustine name must not be done in EBC, save and except I'm a candidate in the election. Because we're tired the party forming Tobago, and one man get up and says, my party is my symbol. If you don't like it, go. But the Tobago People's Party ain't belong to no one man. It belongs to Tobago people. And what Tobago people says goes in this party. And it was on the 6th of April 2023. The good thing about these smartphones is that every time you take a picture or a video, a date is assigned to it. So on the 6th of April 2023, I was in Castara as I'm accustomed to, and I roam in the beach, and I end up by the dirt oven owned by Miss Taylor and her husband. And underneath the shed there was her husband seated. Now, unfortunately, he passed on, and we had to bury him last year. But I'm sitting there, and he's saying to me, he said, you're looking for a symbol? He said, watch this. And he started to draw. I don't know if they had a video that they could load it. But if not, I'll post it online. And he started drawing with a stick in the sand. That is Mr. Taylor's foot. And that is what he drew. I then left Castara, and I went to town the weekend thereafter. And in Shaw Park Complex, the party met and trying to decide on a symbol and a name. I told them, I said, look, I was sitting with Mr. Taylor in Castara, and Mr. Taylor in Castara drew this thing on the sand, and it was an anchor. When I said that, a goodly lady, Auntie Annette, started to sing the song, Will Your Anchor Hold in the Time of Storm? And the entire audience turned congregation and decided that the most apt symbol to represent the people of Tobago, to represent resilience, to represent strength, to represent fortitude, stick-to-itiveness is the anchor. Given what we have just experienced, the turbulence from state agencies coming after us, to being pushed out of a party, fired as a deputy political leader by a political leader, the best symbol to represent our unwavering faith and confidence in the people of Tobago was the anchor. And the people in that room decided on the symbol as an anchor. And so when I see the same madman some night ago on TikTok trying to reduce our symbol to witchcraft, I want to say to him, the only witchcraft I know is ungratefulness. And he's the epitome of ungratefulness. And the Bible says ungratefulness worse than witchcraft. Mr. Taylor, who I know from Castara, ain't no Obia man. He just quiet about his business, fishing, helping his wife, and doing his due in the village. Very quiet, humble man, respectable man in the community. And I want to tell you, Tobago, tonight, that our symbol of an anchor
is an important symbol for Tobago. We are seafaring people. We know about sea and fishing. We know what it is to earn from the beach, from the ocean, whether we are divers, whether we are fishermen, or whether we are fishers of men. And so we understand and appreciate that for us in Tobago, rough seas don't trouble we, bad weather don't faze we, rough times don't make us give up. We are accustomed to outsiders coming and trying to rough we up. And sometimes we are accustomed to be very own, turning their backs on us and trying to rough us up. But I want to say to the PNM tonight that the Tobagonians I know are resilient and smart people. We're not stupid. And that is why on December the 6th, 2021, when they thought they would have win, they nearly lose every single seat. And I want to give them a warning that on April the 28th, 2025, when the die is cast and the votes are counted, they will lose every single seat in Tobago, Tobago East and West. Turn blue. It is a blue wave. It is a blue wave. And so our symbol of the anchor is the symbol we're looking for. I'm going somewhere tonight. Now, I am not a special elector in this election. I will be voting on election day. But we saw from the sample ballots that were provided by EBC that the symbol we have on the ballot paper, it just, the quality ain't good at all. It looked like a black box. You see, they're trying all how to box us in. From trying to refer to us as crabs in a barrel, from trying to contain us, but we shall not be contained on the 28th of April. And so, we have one message for you. When you go to the polling station in both Tobago East and Tobago West, our candidate will be the second to last candidate on both ballot papers. So you're going all the way down the line to the second to last one. And Thomas, in the east, you see the anchor within a sea of black. And it's not totally recognizable. And then in the west, we also have Joel Sampson, also second to last on the ballot paper, number 8 on the ballot paper. Also, the anchor contained in a black box. Now, here's the uniqueness of the thing. It ain't hard to find. Because of all the symbols on the paper, that is the only unique one. Of all the symbols on the paper, is the only one with a black box around it. Of all the symbols on the paper, is the one that stands out. So just go to the ballot paper and look for the symbol in the black box and stamp your X next to it. Stamp the X next to David Thomas. Stamp the X next to Joel Sampson. Stamp it firm. Because that is the symbol that we are going to vote for. That is what this election is about. I also want to take the time tonight to say to some of you who are here listening and might be considering whether or not you should also make the mass exodus from the former party. When we came into this, we didn't come into this thinking that we will be black and green one day and blue the next day. We didn't come into this expecting that things will change. We came into this for the long haul. But most importantly, we came into this for Tobago. And let me say this. The great falling out happened because I have a firm position that it must be Tobago over party every single time. Not sometimes, not when you feel like, but every single time. It has to be Tobago over party. And if you can't appreciate that, then you are in the wrong place. You see, some people perhaps are like Moses. They helped lead us out of Egypt. But God ain't giving them the vision
or the authority to lead us in the promised land. So his time and his season has passed. This is Joshua generation now. This is time to cross Jordan into the promised land. And so Joshua is saying to the people of Tobago, we're going to the promised land. We have some giants to conquer there, but the land has milk and honey. So while you won't hear me bad talking him, because I don't have time for bad talking anybody, while you will not see me passing him straight in the street, I will still shake his hands. I will still call him brother. I am very much conscious that God has already outed the light on his political career. And come the 28th of April, we have to bury him and bury him dead. Because there is no place here. And I also see that the PNM all of a sudden, they love him. All of a sudden, they're hugging him up. All of a sudden, they are gleeful and happy to have him around. Because they are hoping in this election that a split vote will give them the edge. But I want you to know that PNM only wins when we don't vote. When Tobago and stay home, that's the only time PNM does win. And so if you are home and you are not satisfied with governance at the central government, you can't stay home. You have to get up and come out. Pull your walking cane if you have to. Beg for a drop if you have to. Crawl if you have to. But you have a patriotic duty to come out and rescue this country. You have to be a part of that. Because Castara, we can't live in a country where one day or for 5 years you can't get $2 or $3 US to spend for your small business, and all of a sudden they could find 50,000 US to give every small business. That is mama guy. That is mocking you. That is making a mockery of the democracy. It can't be all the time they are at odds with public servants. And just because there's an election, we are now being told public servants, your pension won't be taxable. So what were you doing for the last 10 years that you could not implement these same measures that you are now promising us on the cusp of an election? We ain't want no last minute promise. We ain't want no sweet talk now. The days to sweet talking done. You had 10 years of it. Now we are going to the polls and we are going to vote for David Joseph Thomas in the east and Joel Marcus Sampson in the west. And we are going to change the trajectory of this country. And I want to warn you, because they have a way, a cunning way of making you believe their lies. Because the same people who told you that they're not closing down Petrotrin to ruin the country's economy, them close it down, justify it, and not behaving like they never close it down. And I'm saying to you, do not be fooled in this season. Don't get giddy-headed. Stay focused. Stay focused. Anchor down. Anchor down. The global economy is shifting. Now it's time to anchor down. A global storm is coming. What you need is stable governance that will anchor this country firm and deep and ensure that we can withstand all of the global shocks that are coming because of the policies of Mr. Trump. Now it's time to anchor down. The sails might be battered and torn, but anchor down. We will get through this. Anchor down. And people of Castara, I want you to have an appreciation for what the THA can do and what the THA cannot do. Because you are so intimate with the THA, because it is so normal for you to pass the chief sec on the road and say, well, I want lights, I want my road fixed, I need my roof fixed, I need this, that you think that really and truly THA is responsible for every single thing on the planet. I watched as the very first protest under my administration came from right here in the village of Castara. You were protesting for water. And I said, I wanted the people know that as you protest for water, that Fali Augustine can't direct water. Every time you don't get water, I had to pick up the phone, call Lera Wassa Tobago, calls communications in Tobago Wassa, and beg Miss Webster or beg Mr. Williams. I say, oh gosh, the people have no water. Look how much days they have no water. And then they'll give me some excuse. A pump not working, it's dry season, the flow ain't going up the hill. But Farley really and truly have no control over Wassa. You ain't see how they just come to Tobago and open well wherever they want, dig it wherever they want, no consultation with anybody. And I'm saying to you, Castara, some of the things that you hold there and that are necessary for your development requires strong leadership in the central government. And let me give you some examples. I travel the world, and let me say this for Mr. Morris and Mr. Dennis and all of them. I don't need to be chief secretary to travel the world. I was traveling the world before I became chief secretary. Me and no novice to this, right? Me and no newcomer to this. And as I travel the world, you are seeing how airports around the world are technologically advanced. Yes, we're boasting about a new airport, but every time you come in here, you have to sit down and fill out a long form. Where are the biometrics? We have people being gunned down outside of an airport in Piaco. Airports all over the world are the safest places in the world because security measures at an airport are always high. But in Trinidad, you could get gunned down as you come off a flight. What madness is that? And I'm asking you, Castara, as a community that hinges your economy on tourism, you think that your guests are satisfied with the first welcome they get when they come to the airport? Sometimes I come in with them and I meet some of you all standing up outside. Porridge, all of you all standing up outside of the airport, waiting on your guests. Plane land hour ago, and people still inside in a long line with one small kiosk called duty free. Long line, and you outside waiting, and they're wondering what they're waiting in there so long for. Why they're taking so long? Why is the process so unbearably long? That can only be fixed by the central government. The THA can't tell customs what to do. We can't tell immigration what to do. We can't tell airport authority what to do. And the reason why we're sending Tomo and not sit down there is because we cannot have a situation where we have important agencies of state and the THA is not represented on those agencies. Because let me tell you what they do. They go and they pick some Tobagonians to be on those boards. But those boards are not, those recommendations do not come from the sitting THA. So there are Tobagonians there, but they're not representing the THA. They're actually not coming back and reporting anything to the THA. They don't care about the THA. So your issues are not fixed. That's why Caribbean Airlines can't fix right now. How 10 years ago, we could have Caribbean Airlines running between the both islands up to after 1 in the morning. And 10 years later, it can't happen. And you are telling me that is progress. That's not progress, that's a regression. That is going backwards. That is crayfish behavior. It's only crayfish just move backwards. And when you bust open the head of crayfish, you know it's only tutu that's be in the head. So that is why they can't move intelligently. And I'm saying to you, we are not voting for crayfish behavior. We are voting for progress in this election. We are anchoring down next to the anchor in that black box. That's what we're voting for. Castara, when you look at the taxes you pay, the land titles you cannot have, when we look at the reform of taxation in the country and the Board of Inland Revenue, the THA had nothing to do with that. They did not even consult the THA on this new law. They just pass it. And for us here in Tobago, we sit down here, we can't get we name on our own land, but we have to pay taxes on it. And I am firm in my position. We're not paying a cent of tax until we could get we name on the land that belongs to we. Fix with land title issues. Fix that first. That is why we're sending Tomo and not to Trinidad. That's what they have to deal with. They have to ensure as well that when we look at the relationship between Trinidad and Tobago and the funding arrangement, that we have to get more to do the work for you. Look how long it took before this building here opened. And you know, I'll give one admission. Some of the projects I saw PNM doing for 21 years that took forever. I said, but why it taking them so long to finish this project? Now that I'm in the seat, I'm realizing, based on how we get the funding from the central government, things can't help but take long to finish. Simple projects taking forever to get done. You have to build today, build tomorrow, build next year, build the year after that. Look at the fishing depot in Palatavia. We had to do one phase, build it downstairs. We're now about to issue the contract for the upstairs a year later. So in other words, what could have been done in 1 year, you have to stretch it across 2 years to get it done. It's not different than your household. You in your house, you're trying for the longest while to put on an addition. But you're only buying bricks where they get some money. When they get a little extra money, you buy a pallet of bricks, you buy some cement, you put it down, you buy some steel, you put it down. And when you find the money again, or you could beg the neighbor to come and get some free labor, you put up a piece, you put up a piece. That is how the THA working. Because of how we are being funded. And we had 2 people down in the parliament for 10 years who sit down there and say, it's all good. What we gain is enough. Tobagonians are suffering. They don't want any more. And the wicked thing about it is that the same people will go on a platform and now lie about the requests that we make of the central government. Now let me be straight with you. Me and War Prado from no central government. I am perhaps the only chief secretary to never buy a new car since I'm in office. Well, Ansel only get a tush, so he wasn't there long enough to buy not even a bicycle. But I will be the only full-term chief sec to never buy a new vehicle. The Prado that does drive me that come from finance, it done right now. The BMW that day is Kelvin Charles that buy that. That have some issues, you know, to service a BMW is big money, and you have to carry by the BMW company. The Lexus from Orville, I was still driving it and still use it. The AC and working good. For years, they're trying to fix the AC. I go and spend my own money, not even THA money, and fix the AC myself to drive in it. The Fortuner that there, that is the oldest of all in the fleet, just limping along. And guess what? I use in any vehicle. Sometimes I borrow the chief vehicle to use. Sometimes whatever vehicle I have lying around, I use it. So me and need Prado. And so this nonsense about THA asking to buy 2 Prado. The central government buys tens of Prado every single year. And you talking about THA asking for 2 Prado. What are they saying? That you are so less than them in Trinidad. That you can't buy 2 Prado. And let me be clear. No Prado request was made for the oil spill. Not a single Prado request was made for the oil spill. We made requests to cover the cost of renting vehicles because during the oil spill, Mr. Alan Stewart, there was no vehicle assigned to him, none that was working. And we had to use my vehicle, other vehicles, try to pick him up at 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning from Mason Hall. We said, let me rent a car and let him use it for the period until we could actually afford a vehicle for his office. That is the only major rental. We pay for maxis to transport volunteers and experts from the hotels and the guest houses to come to work every day and back to work. But we never asked to no Prado for oil spill. And to show the wicked, the United States government gave 2 Wranglers, off-duty Wranglers, to use for emergencies. Not one of them was gifted to Tobago. Both of them stay in Trinidad. And they're saying to us, it's good so for you. Tobagonians, don't be fooled. And Mr. Ex-Prime Minister, if the WhatsApp message would come from me, you could have accepted it. If the WhatsApp message would come from the Secretary of Finance, you could accept it. But you ain't see like coming bird setting you up because you bust your throat and put a next man to be Prime Minister. You ain't see coming bird setting you up, boy. You are smarter man than that, Mr. Prime Minister. Come setting you up for the kill. He embarrassing you in front of your people. So where is this that coming but send you a WhatsApp and that is your evidence? What stupidness is that? When that is not your evidence. The evidence must come from what was submitted by the THA to you. You let coming but set you up. You're too big for that, Mr. Ex-Prime Minister. You should be smarter than that. You all them goat milk you're drinking and doing much for the brain. Act smarter than that, Mr. Ex-Prime Minister. Don't let coming but set you up like that again. We have not time to buy Prado. Because this is not what this is about. Even when it comes to our response to natural disasters, we have in Tobago the single best agency in the entire Caribbean for responding to natural disasters called TEMA. It's not PNM start that, you know. It's Mr. Hochoy Charles that started TEMA in Tobago. It's Hochoy Charles that started it and started training people for TEMA. I think Mr. Sandy at the time was running TEMA. Oh, and Sandy's name. That's how TEMA started. It's Hochoy start that, not PNM. That is Hochoy legacy, not PNM. And that's the single best disaster response agency in the region. But there comes a time when we may have a disaster that goes beyond the ambit of the THA. And so we have to give it a national face or an international face based on the height and the depth and the structure of the disaster we have. The oil spill we just had was so large that the THA needed all of central government and the international community to support. And when we wrote and we asked for the support, we said, look, up to now, which was up to April 2024, our bills was just about $50 million. We projected some more months of cleanup and what that will cost. We sent that down too. We sent and requested monies to do the studies, to do the recons after the cleanup activity, to make sure beaches or reefs are back to pristine condition. All they do is send the 50 million. And I watch how them Tobago senators stand up in the parliament and say there ain't enough money for them. Don't give them any more. As if they're doing me something. Those PNM people are too unpatriotic. They don't believe in Tobago. They don't support Tobago. And if you live in Tobago and everything this administration does, you hope that it failed so you could come into power, then you are not the right man to run this island called Tobago. I could tell you for a fact that there are many things that happened by the former administration that while I was not in government, I supported. When they were doing the Man and the Biosphere project, I was just area rep. But I went around with them. I had the meetings with Eric. I sat in their meetings. I signed on the forms. And I supported it, although I was not in government. When they wanted to manage our reefs and to create a plan for that, I sat with them and support. When they wanted a bill to pass to go down to Parliament, I led the debate from the minority side. And all three of us supported that bill. This current minority has supported not one single bill that we have brought to the House. But you're talking about patriotic. If your job is just to oppose and hope that everything fails, you do not belong in the corridors of power for the people of Tobago. Because you ain't like Tobago people. You like yourself, you like your party more than you like Tobago people. And so what we need is for people to be patriotic in this season. What we need is for people to actually stand up for Tobago in this season. You have seen the results of their time in governance. Two beautiful ladies, but with Rowley as their leader, they are no say. Because you realize that man runs a dictatorship. And now I understand why you're hugging up Watson. Two peas in the same pod. Both of them believe their party belongs to them alone. So one man, the party so belong to he that when he want, he wake up one day and pick a set of deputy political leaders in Trinidad and say, you are now deputy political leaders. No process, no conversation with the party. The other one, he wake up one day and say, hey, you gonna be the next prime minister. I don't care what nobody say, is you will be prime minister, go be prime minister. Two of them are brothers. They are cut from the same cloth, same DNA of dictators. And I'm saying to you, this is a democracy for which we are not supporting any dictatorship. And Stuart Young, we have nothing against you, but the people never pick you. We are supporting who the people pick. And right now, the people pick David Thomas, they pick Joel Sampson, and we'll go and negotiate for Tobago's freedom. You can't just run like that and then come to us in a democratic process and say, pick us. If you want to be picked by the people, you must demonstrate what democracy feels and looks like in your party. And I tell you that I am at the control of my political organization. Yes, I have some leadership, and that gives me some authority in the constitution of the party. But at the end of the day, what the party says goes. And whenever the party decides they want a next leader, I will be here to welcome whoever that next leader is. If the party decides to go left, I am here to support what the party decides. Because the individual cannot be bigger than the organization. And the country cannot be smaller than the organization either. It must be country first, party second, individual last. That is the rank. And above all of us is Almighty God. That is the order that we follow. And so in this election, you have to appreciate that it is important for you to send two right-minded people to Port of Spain. Don't say, well, it's not THA, and I waited on THA because I like Farley, and it's only Farley. No, you have to come out and support Thomas and Sampson, because it is important what they do down in Port of Spain. If America coughs, we catch the flu. If Trinidad coughs, we get pneumonia. It's important who we send down there. It's important who represents us there and what voices are heard in the Red House. It's important that your voice is actually represented and articulated there. Because a lot of what you dream of and you want is being held back down there at the Red House. It's down there why you ain't get autonomy yet. It's down there why you're not getting the funding you want yet. It's down there why you can't have any sort of control over your environment, over town country planning. They are the ones holding you back. And I'm saying, I am sending two people at the front of the war who are going to say to Port of Spain, this is what Tobago wants, and this is what Tobago must get. End of story. We have to draw the lines in the sand like Mr. Taylor and decide what we want versus what we will not accept. That is critical for us. And so Castara, Palatove, Bloody Bay, Lansomi, don't see yourself as small dots on this map. Don't see yourself as small, insignificant villages. You here in Castara, you contributed to one of the greatest prime ministers this country has ever had in A.N.R. Robinson. You helped to raise him. You put Tobago on the map because of you and the education across at the school here in this village. Robinson went to dizzying heights internationally. So Castara, don't see yourself as small at all. See that you can be a change agent, that you can effect change, that you can do something great to ensure that Tobago and Trinidad become a greater, better country than the one we have now. Yes, in our democracy, some governments are better than others. And in this election, you have to start to ask yourself, who gave me more? At what point did I get more? And if over the last 10 years you have been getting less than you got before, then now it's time to change the captains of this ship. Now it's time to change Ayana and Shamfa. And let me be clear, Trinidad, vote for whoever you want. I don't get in Trinidad's business. Trinidad, vote for who you want. But as of now, you Tobago, I'm talking to you Tobago, we have one choice. in this election. One choice in this election. And it's a TPP. One choice in this election. Don't be confused. There is no need to hold on to the memory of a Bolife that is now out. The choice is the anchor in this election. One choice that we have. And you know, I must say this. How could the man who told us he will go down to Trinidad and represent us, leave us here in Tobago, go down to Trinidad to represent us, embarrass himself and embarrass the island of Tobago in Trinidad, and come back now playing saint? Come back now playing saint. He think we forget. The one opportunity he had, he did not even represent us properly there. He did not even represent the Tobago brand properly there. But he wants to represent us again now. That could not make sense. And now you'll understand why PNM hugging him up. Because PNM has only hug up mediocrity. PNM has only hug up bad mind. PNM has only hug up wickedness. PNM has only embraced things that are not right. So birds of a feather, let them flock together. But we have with catapult and sink shot waiting for them. And David, all you need is one stone, brother. You don't even need the 5 stones you pick up. All you need is one stone, brother. Just one stone is all you need, brother. Rastaman throw one stone and it caused a bad feeling in a Babylon. One stone, brother David. That's all you need. One stone to bring down those evil birds. One stone, because Cobos don't belong in Tobago. Cobos don't belong in Tobago. And so as the blessings of the Lord rains down on us, I want to end by telling you, Castara, and all the villages in this area, all of you who have come from near and far, that we still have a little way to go. We have a little work to do. And we will get it done over the next couple days. Tomorrow, Thursday, I will be addressing the issue with contractors tomorrow, Thursday. On Saturday, we are going home to Roxborough, where this revolution started. And we'll be out big and bad in Roxborough on Saturday. On Sunday, normally we don't do motorcades, but this year, we will be out in the motorcade this year on Sunday. We will be going around the island en masse this Sunday. So start to load up the transport. Get the food organized. Get the drinks organized. And we will circumnavigate this entire island on Sunday. We will do so peacefully. So listen out tomorrow for instructions on where we will start from and the routes we will take and the times we will move off. But we will drive around this island and we will purge this island and cleanse this island with the blue wave. And come Monday the 28th of April, we will finish this great work. We will put another rung in the ladder of this revolution. We will vote for David Thomas in the east and Joel Sampson in the west. God will bless our fight. God will work with us. And we will ensure that we bring much needed change and respect and dignity to the name that is Tobago. Thank you and God bless you. God love you greatly. Blessings, everyone.
Coming, take this announcement, please. Thursday 24th, spot meeting in Broad Place, Broad Road, Mariah, Golden Lane, and general meeting in Lake 2. All you get that? Pack up the maxi, we going down. Good night, get